Baja Mexico, the slender peninsula beneath California's southernmost border, draws millions of tourists every year because of the stunning coastline and quaint villages, but it's also an area of overwhelming poverty, where thousands of native Mexicans live in squalid work camps, struggling daily just to survive. Broken families and homeless children are quickly becoming Baja's biggest social concern. Chuck and Charlotte Perot saw the needs of the homeless children and began an orphanage here more than 30 years ago. But it really began long before that, when they adopted a native Mexican baby.
We sent a small donation, $10 as I can remember, to a mission in Oaxaca. When we received a response from this contribution, it was the most bizarre letter I have ever received. First, they thanked us, and then secondly, they asked us whether we would consider adopting a little Zapotec Indian baby yet to be born. I read it and read it again, and I thought, good grief. We send $10, and they offered to send us a free sample. When Chuck came home, I said, sit down before you read this one. He sat down, and he read it, and he looked, and he said, well, maybe we ought to pray. I said, pray? You have got to be kidding. We have a 3-bedroom home. We have 4 children. I've got 3 little boys in 1 bedroom. The last thing in the world I need is another baby. But to make a long story short, 3 months later, I found myself the mother of a little 2-day-old Zapotec Indian baby. As our love for this little raven-haired, brown-skinned baby grew, something else developed. I guess you could call it compassion for the countless other homeless and abandoned children of Mexico.
Although once a resort and casino for Hollywood's rich and famous, the old buildings have been resurrected and new buildings added by the hand of God and the work of dedicated volunteers. Today, Hogar para Niños, or Home for Children, continues to provide a home for the abandoned children of the surrounded communities. Over the years, God has proven himself faithful, showing his love to the fatherless of Mexico in miraculous ways, and using servants like Chuck and Charla, the staff, and the many volunteers who visit the mission every year. Their dedication has given countless children the love and hope they would have never known. Many, like little Jorge, who was near death from starvation when he came to the mission, are now healthy, happy youngsters.
My name is Mario Cordoba. Looking at my family today, it would be hard to believe that I arrived at the mission as a homeless single father. I was carrying my daughter with cerebral palsy, my 2 younger daughters following behind. Like the prodigal son, the only job available was feeding and caring for the pigs. When we came here, we found a place of refuge where I met the Lord, and he transformed my life. He has given me a new family, and over the years, the privilege to serve as administrator of the mission. It is exciting to be part of reaching others with the good news of Jesus Christ and the opportunity of demonstrating his love in very practical ways. The heart of the mission continues to be caring for the children. However, God has expanded the vision to include several outreach ministries. We now operate a medical clinic, a soup kitchen, a warehouse used for the distribution of food and clothing and supplies to the community, and now an alcohol and drug rehab center. God continues to open doors in new areas all the time. One of the exciting aspects of the mission is that we are set up to accommodate groups who wish to visit and help with the various projects and experience firsthand what God is doing here.
Each morning, the mission family assembles together in La Sala, our living room, for worship and prayer. This has always been a vital part of life here at Vicente Guerrero. Often, visiting churches are given the opportunity to share from the Word of God. The Sala gathering is also an informal time where the staff and volunteers share their needs and pray for one another. This has created a close community. Dealing with the needs of hundreds of people every day would be overwhelming were it not for the empowering of God's Spirit and the strength gained from this time together.
Having a long-term commitment here, I've been asked to supervise this department, which is the nursery. We have currently 11 babies here. We have a capacity for 12. We average probably about 10 at any given time. I also have 8 workers full-time around the clock. It is a full-time ministry in the nursery. As you know, babies are up all the time. Our babies here are interned, some of them, as part of the orphanage. Those babies are here with us until age 2, in which time they move on to and are placed in the various households here at the mission. Other babies here are in a crisis situation whom we take in at doctor's requests or by the social services who say they need to have a temporary housing situation. Josefina here is one of those babies. She came to us 3 months ago, severely malnourished. She was 5 months old and under 6 pounds. So we have been very pleased with her progress as she has doubled her weight. And although she's asleep right now, she is a very active and becoming a very alert and catching up with her age baby. It's such a blessing to be a part of this department, to work with our little ones as well as the workers here. It's all our prayer that every baby that comes through these doors will be planted with seeds that will last for an eternity.
The mission in Vicente Guerrero has created a family environment for the boys and girls, a place where children can live and share and grow with each other. Each child lives in an apartment with 10 to 12 other children and a married couple who serve as house parents. Brothers and sisters stay together in the same families. An effort is made to keep every aspect of daily life as much like home as possible. Families share meal times in the main dining room. After homework, evenings are spent around the table enjoying games and free time together. The younger children stay home with their house parents while school-aged children are bused to the local public school. They return home in time for lunch and afternoon music lessons. The mission also brings children in from the camps early each morning to a Christian daycare. These children, who would otherwise be home alone, receive a hot breakfast, enjoy a fun day that includes Bible stories, prayer, and singing. Seeds are sown in their hearts of a God that loves them dearly. Medical and dental care is also provided for the children. And many, although they may not fully realize it, experience God's miraculous power on their behalf. Each afternoon includes daily chores where the children learn the importance of responsibility. They learn that a family runs smoothest when everyone helps out. Some sweep the courtyard, while others stay close to the laundry room or prepare for the next meal. Having fun is also part of life at the mission. There are areas to enjoy a variety of activities, including bicycling, soccer, jumping in the trampoline, and basketball. Physical activities are an important part in the overall development of the children here. The older boys all live in one house where they learn new responsibilities and receive a spiritual training. House parents spend extra time praying with and counseling the teenagers during this important time in their lives.
This is my friend Cesar Castro, I want to say Espanol. He's 17 years old, and he's been here almost all of his life. He was here as an infant. And there's been times that we thought he was trying to live up to his name. But he's really settled down. He's learned the masonry trade. He can lay block. In fact, he's laid most of the block on this building. And he also plasters, and he can do a pretty good job pounding nails and sawing boards. So in this area, learning a trade as a craftsman, you have a chance to get more than double of what you would make working in the fields. So this is a good opportunity for these kids to learn a trade. And this is one of our goals here at the mission, is to have these boys. We have a print shop that we're just in the process of getting started, and the mechanic shop and a upholsterer shop.
At the orphanage here, we have a wide range of vehicles, from weed eaters, gas weed eaters, to backhoes, dump trucks. And at the shop here, we try and keep up the maintenance schedules and maintain all the vehicles through keeping a good record of things. Matthias here helps me with the mechanical. Norberto helps me with the body work and painting. We have a wide range of things that we have to keep functioning here.
Thanks to countless generous donors, the mission is receiving equipment that is being used to provide even more vocational opportunities. The fertile soil and abundant water supply is a great blessing for the mission. It is hoped that the 40 acres of available farmland on the grounds will one day supply a moderate income and employment for some of the residents of Vicente Guerrero. There is also 1.5 acre experimental orchard where we can test the response of various fruit and nut trees. Peaches, mangoes, oranges, apples, and lemons all grow extremely well here. Successful grafting procedures have produced a tree with 16 kinds of figs. Yet, with all the success of the fruit trees, it is the macadamia nut tree which holds the most promise of becoming a helpful cash crop.
6 months after we started...
While serving as head physician in the clinic, our gifted doctor has made the time to introduce a music program.
And guitar. I could teach those 3 instruments, and I've been helped by other people here at the mission to teach other kind of instruments. I had to learn to teach a couple of instruments like trombone and that I didn't know how to play before, and clarinet, but God is helping me to do it. And we formed a band.
Twice a month, the truck leaves the office in North Hollywood, California, with provisions for the mission and its many outreach activities. Everything from peanut butter to plexiglass has made the 8-hour trip across the border to Vicente Guerrero, where the distribution of food and clothing is another important part of the effort to help the surrounding communities. The old theater is a good example of original buildings not being put to God's use. Hundreds of people with a burden for the poor donate time, money, and possessions to see the ministry continue. The Bible Institute, with its newly completed dorms and classroom facilities, is another rapidly growing ministry in Vicente Guerrero. Located in the heart of this agricultural community, the Bible Institute draws students from over 70 native languages. John Coppersmith, a veteran missionary with over 30 years of service in Cuba and Mexico, directs this important work of mobilizing native Mexicans. After 2 years of intensive training, these students will return to their own people, and for the first time, these towns will hear the gospel in their own dialects.
Pero el día y la hora nadie sabe, ni aún los ángeles de los cielos, sino solo mi Padre. Aquí está hablando Jesucristo. Y nos demuestra y nos enseña que nadie sabe. Nadie sabe que son pecados delante de los ojos de Dios. Es triste, pero es una realidad.
In January, hundreds of children are bused to the mission from the surrounding area and migrant camps to be blessed by a Christmas fiesta. This is a special time of joy for these children whose lives are otherwise quite dreary. Brothers and sisters can be seen clinging to one another as they enter the church sanctuary amazed. For some, it is possibly the first time that they have seen so much color and heard so much music. They will be exposed to indoor bathrooms and a water faucet. Little girls come wearing their finest dresses. Some of the children come with no shoes. Many people donate time and talent to communicate through drama and song that Jesus came and lives with us as the best gift of all. Each child lives with a special bag of love that has been blessed by the hands of many volunteers. Stuffed toys, lovingly made, oranges, faithfully given, a purchased doll are all part of love of Jesus flowing through his servants. This love boards the buses with the children to return to wherever home might be for them. The many happy faces are blessings to be remembered. The words of Jesus came alive to many of the staff members and privileged volunteers. Do not hinder the little children from coming to me.
At the moment at the clinic, I'm the only medical doctor working. Full times we have some doctors that comes to help us. There's a pediatrician that comes once a month for a week, and other doctors that comes sporadically to help. We have a full-time nurse too.
Each day begins with prayer by asking God to use his servants to bring healing to these people. In the waiting room, patients are welcomed by nurses who also take time to help them look to God and trust him in their need. Christian videos are shown while they wait for their appointment. God has blessed our services to include a dental clinic, examination rooms, a laboratory, and a room for minor surgery, chiropractic suites, labor and delivery rooms, 5 hospital beds for inpatient care, and an emergency room. Healthcare workers are welcome to come and help and are put to work in their area of expertise. It is wonderful to see how God is faithful to send the right people at the right time to meet the needs that are seldom anticipated.
It's been a blessing to be part of this ministry. It's 14 years now that I've been here, and it's really a joy to see the church grow. And not only this church, but we also have opportunity to establish some other churches in this area. We have one more in the north part of the state, and a couple more in the state of Oaxaca. And I think it's a part of a revival it's the Lord bringing to whole Mexico.
One very exciting aspect of the outreach is our child evangelism program. Every day we go out to one of 14 or more camps and present a combination Sunday school class nutrition program for the children there.
place near Vicente Guerrero, some 40,000 Oaxacan Indians work up to 14 hours a day for a mere $4, trying to support their families, huddled together in smoke-filled huts of cardboard and rolls of plastic. These people fight an endless battle just to survive. There is no running water or electricity. Desperate health conditions and the harsh environment make the infant mortality rate in this area higher than anywhere else in North America. Hopelessness, alcoholism, and broken families are all an epidemic in these camps. Man has used these people for his purposes. However, Jesus remembers them and he comes with good news through his evangelism teams, sometimes from the mission and sometimes from visiting church groups. Using Christian films and preaching the word, his message is proclaimed to these people. Jesus brings hope to the hopeless, light to the darkness, freedom from bondage, a new creation from rubble. Lives are changed. And how lovely are the feet of those who bring good news.
My wife and I, we came down here for a 3-month visit, and we've been here 3.5 years. And I thank God every day for the blessings of being the host, to get to show the work groups, the visitors, the staff that come down here. I get to be one of the first ones to meet them. And the blessing is, you know that when they come down here for a week, or when they leave, that God will have touched their lives. And every week, it never fails, when they load up their vans and buses that go back home, that these people have been touched.
God has a work for anyone who wants to be here. I'm a letter carrier. I don't work with my hands. I'm not a carpenter, but I filled bags with macaroni, with non-fat dry milk, and with peanut butter. And I tell you, when God says the least you do for these people, we're doing it for Christ.
It is a joy to share with people who come here to visit, or people who write about the program and how they can become personally involved in the ministry by sponsoring a child or a student. They become involved in their lives through praying for them, but also with a financial commitment. This ministry is a safe haven for children, but also a place where students can be trained up to go out and minister back in their home areas. And as sponsors, they can take part in this ministry by meeting the needs of the children and the students, and they become personally involved.
The mission is facing some exciting challenges, and the outreach is drawing a harvest of souls. Yes, the needs are great, but our God is greater, and with every vision He provides the means to fulfill it. To find out more about these heart-stirring developments, write to the Foundation for His Ministry, Box 9803, North Hollywood, California, 91609, or Maranatha Evangelistic Association, Box 1292, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, T2P 2L2. If you desire a story of the history of the mission, please order the book, Charlotte's Children, which is available in English or Spanish. Call 818-834-4734 or fax 818-834-4724.